Hello, I'm John Kleiss of TISL Media, and I am here with Mr. Charles Bone. This is a real treat. He's a prominent Tennessee lawyer, and he was the second ever TISL governor. So, Mr. Bone, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Doing good. Now, I also hear, actually, and this is interesting, you just finished up your speech for the opening session, kicking off TISL this year. And it really was a wonderful speech, but something that actually caught my attention early on was that you mentioned last weekend that you ran a half marathon.
I did here in Nashville. I've done a number of those. It's slower. I finished.
You know, that's better than most of us could probably do this time. Back on topic, though, I want to talk about your memories of TISL 50 years ago, what it was then and what it is now. How is it different?
Well, it's, night and day. I mean, we had a very small group from across the state and create TISL that began to make it work. And Dr. Carlisle from Knoxville, UT Knoxville, was kind of the faculty sponsor. And we got together, some of our friends at all the universities and colleges we could find, and we brought them together, and there were less than 30. I don't remember how many, but East Tennessee State was represented, and Memphis was represented, and Vanderbilt and University of Tennessee. I do remember, those few that were here, and we made it work.
But there weren't 43 then.
There weren't 43. There weren't even 43 delegates, let alone 43 colleges and universities. Oh yeah, we probably had less than 30 individual delegates that came. Small group.
Wow, big change then.
Big change.
So you've helped TISL happen over the years.
I've been on the board and I've helped, but Jeff Wilson is the one who's made this work. I mean, there were, I'm not sure exactly how many years where they didn't, where they didn't even have a legislative session because there was no support out there, and Jeff kind of got involved along with several others, and brought people together and began to make this work and said, this is worth it, this is something that really counts, and we need to make it work. So his leadership has made this happen.
Yeah, and so I want to go back a little bit to the big crowd we have today, because obviously it is very different. So what was it like for you walking into the House chamber, seeing all those people?
Well, it's pretty humbling to think about the number of delegates that you have and the number of colleges and universities that you have represented here, and to see the number of issues that you're going to be considering this weekend, and with the Supreme Court and all the other functions that you now have for TISL, this is just an incredible process, and very impressive.
Now, have you looked through some of the issues we're going to be talking about?
I've looked through, I just picked it up on the way into the session, but I've kept a copy, so I'm looking forward to it.
Anything catch your eye?
Well, I noticed that there were some issues about drugs, and certainly that's a topic that needs to be considered. I didn't do an exhaustive search, but I would think that you all, especially as young people, would be really interested in the voting process. And, our voting process is so antiquated, and it's so easy to vote online and to make, to bring any number of people into the system, and I just hope you all will have some influence on that.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Now, for just a little bit, I want to talk about your speech, because it was he gave a really, really powerful speech, and something struck me. I wrote it down, so I want to bring it up again. You said, in the midst of a vicious and great battle, our minds, the minds of this generation, are in the midst of a vicious and great battle for your minds, for your hearts, and for your souls. So what exactly did you mean by that?
Well, when you look at where we are as a nation, where we are as a state, what you see is, the absolute crisis that we have with people trying to make decisions about what they can do, what they can accomplish, who's going to be in charge, who's going to be elected, who's going to give of their time to actually serve. And I think every young person, especially, is being assaulted by all of the various sides, for all the various political movements to say, come join this, white supremacists, or come join, the moral majority, or come join, the Tea Party, and I think all of you all have to make the same decisions that we had to make, but it's much more confusing these days and much more aggressive, I think, in terms of the approach people take to this.
Now, do you think younger people, and I guess I include myself in that statement, I'm relatively
I'd say you would qualify.
relatively young. Do you think that we all, and everyone here, do you think we'll make the right decision and succeed?
Oh, sure. I don't have any, I don't know that there is necessarily a right decision. The right decision is to be involved and to participate. And, some people are going to go off the rails to the left or off the rails to the right, or, find some activity that's criminal in some way, but most people in our country, if they will get involved, will make the right decision to and it's usually pretty close to the middle when they do that, I think.
So you have hope for the future, then?
I do have great hope for the future, and for my 6 grandchildren.
That's right. Your granddaughter's birthday coming up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Tomorrow.
Okay, wow.
7 years.
Any big plans?
No, just I think she has a basketball game, so we'll be there for that.
That's fun. Yeah, I always love watching 7-year-olds play basketball. It's the most entertaining type.
Yeah. And they don't last too long either.
So you can go.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for what you're doing.
All right,
Great.
thank you.
Glad to know you all.
Absolutely. All right. This is Mr. Charles Bone, a prominent Tennessee lawyer, and you all should thank him because TISL probably wouldn't have happened without him. And I'm John Kleiss, and this is TISL Media.